Happy Sunday. It is the 6th of October. Unbelievable. Wasn't I just saying it's mid-August? Here we are. Okay, so let's do the Sunday Social Security Roundup for what went on last week. Okay, so this would be the week of the 30th through the 5th. So September 30th to October 5th. On Monday the 30th, it was like a little Q&A. Someone had asked, at what stage in the sequential evaluation process does the SSA send you the RFC form? So we go over all that, myths and otherwise. On Tuesday, October 1st, I can't believe it's October. We went over the new SSA rules that came in on September 30th, became effective on September 30th. And there were the SSI rules that were changed by the SSA. How's that for acronyms? That would include the new renters rule, the food rule, and there was one other one. I think it's the I think it was the rule on, I can't even remember, the rule on what would make a public assistance housing, which makes it easier for SSI folks to be eligible for SSI. Okay, so now we have October 2nd, which would be Wednesday. This was a true or false. My household activities can't be used against me by the SSA. True or false? And we go into that. The next day, October 3rd, that must have been Thursday. We talk about the SSA's new work history report. If you recall, we had a part 1 and a part 2, one for the first page and part 2 for the first page of the actual job pages, because there's 2 pages per job. So we go over page 1 of that. And in this video, we go over page 2. That would apply to every job. Very, very important, guys, if you're doing your work history report, or if you didn't do your work history report thoroughly before, there's nothing to say you can't go do it again and just say, I realize I was not thorough and I would like to submit this again. You could do that. Okay, we do it all the time. When I get people that have already submitted it, I'm like, train wreck. Anyway, all right, Friday, of course, fraud law review. This was that Montana couple. They were not poor. They were kind of living the high life. Somehow they managed to get SSI for 5 of their children. Now, I would imagine their children were disabled, which to me is very troubling, unless perhaps they were adopted. But it just seems so strange that 5 kids born of the same family. But they did not, the fraud was not in the fact of the disability of the children. I believe it was only due to the fact that the parents had a lot of money. Apparently they were making money elsewhere, and SSI is for poor families. So when people who are not poor and not in need try to get it, it really burns my bridges. The 5th, Saturday. Yeah. We go over, all right, someone had asked about the mental RFC form. What does it look like, I guess? And so I grabbed a copy of it. I believe the copy is linked. I think I had to put it up on my site because otherwise it was just going to some off website. But we go through all the pages of the mental RFC that the SSA will be sending to probably, I think the internal doctor who's going to review your stuff is going to give you a mental RFC and quantify your mental impairments and the level of limitation those impairments cause in each of the many factors that are relevant to working. Okay, so you can take a look-see at that. That's probably pretty useful. I tried to give a few little nudges where certain ones would be implicating all jobs. So if you were substantially lost in the ability to do some of those tasks on a standard workday, you could be disabled based on that alone. That's very rare. You have to have severe, robust, incredible medical records to suggest that you have a substantial loss in that way. So it's easier said than done. And without really severe treatment and very vocal advocating almost mental health providers, it's a real difficult road to prove that you're without any physical problems, you just can't work at all due to the mental. I mean, it happens for sure, but it's difficult to prove because it's not as common as some might think. All right, that's it, guys. The September 30th to October 5th, Sundays roundup. Okay, I will see you guys next week. I am going to be in and out. I have some family coming to visit, so we are going to be spending time at a local Airbnb so that I don't have to clean my house. I don't have the energy right now, and it's very, very busy with work. So I'm like, let's just stay someplace else. And we don't want to stay in a hotel. So, and then we don't have to have the dogs in our faces at all times. You've heard the commotion around here. It's a very busy place between two-legged humans, four-legged dogs and cats, two-legged birds, four-legged tortoises, and there is one snake too. It was a holdover. It didn't get out when its lease was gone, so it's still here. Anyway, but I'll be checking in, and I should be sending up some video shares because I'll still be working, just not maybe 12 hours a day. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one. Bye. So you just listened to the week's roundup of all 7 days right behind us and what those video tips were. Are you concerned if you didn't necessarily catch the ones from the week prior to that? Don't worry, we're going to attach it right here. Have a great week, guys. Bye. Happy Sunday. It is the 29th of September. Let's do the Social Security roundup for the week of. Such a short week because I was missing in action for a few days, but let's see what did come out. All right, so this was starting September 23rd. This was the real life sample of a letter where SSA is scheduling an SSI recently medically prevailing claimant and giving them their perk and all the questions that would be involved in that. That's a non-medical questions. So I just go through a letter that I posted a redacted copy of so you could see the language and know, and we go over what the questions are and things that you're going to want to be prepared for in advance. I do appreciate them putting it in a letter now with that level of somewhat of detail so that people know what to expect and to have that information readily available when the time comes and to give it some thought instead of answering loosely and quickly out of nervousness. So that was Monday. I wasn't here on the 24th, the 25th, or the 26th. Because I was, as some of you know, a little emergency trip to the ER and an admission in the hospital. But I am on the mend, so that's good. Friday, we did the fraud law review. That was really sad. An intellectually disabled woman who was murdered, her benefits stolen for years and years and years, murdered and buried underneath the house. So it's pretty pathetic, and I'm glad they caught the perp. I don't think the perp has yet been the perp for the murder, but you know, I'm sure they're looking strongly at that. It was thus far, I believe, if I recall, the crimes of the theft of government property and the Social Security number and all that stuff. So that was Friday the 27th. And then on Saturday, I also posted the glad to be back video after those horrific days of pain in the hospital. That again was also on Friday. And then on Saturday, posted a little ditty about the wrong way. If you're SSI and you're seeing this back benefits or monthly amount that's not the full SSI amount and you don't know why, or maybe you do know why, such as they're knocking you for free rent when you don't have free rent. you have borrowed rent or something else, or perhaps you're even paying. So this is how not to dispute that. Sometimes the common sense idea that you can walk into the SSA office and take care of it, that's not necessarily going to work. And you're going to want to know why and what you should do about it if this is something that involves your situation. Okay, so that was Saturday. We have a new week coming up. Hopefully we will be timely. No more medical emergencies, I hope. And I will see you then, guys. Short and sweet. All right. Have a great week. I hope you're having a great weekend. And I will be back in Stroudsburg, PA tomorrow. Right now I'm in kind of like Central South PA at the other place. Recouping, but I'll leave tomorrow. All right. Bye now.